Hello again to all my faithful sweeties and to subscribers that will come on or subscribe later. Faithful sweeties is what I call all of my subscribers. I mentioned on yesterday that I would come on and tell you all what happened when I started walking um, after 13 years. So on Monday, I started walking after 13 years. Um, in 2012, um, I think it was like around the end of December. I always heard because I was diagnosed with some things, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. But in 2012, I had been having like really bad headaches in the back of my head, which I still have, and hurting in my spine, which I still have because I have osteoporosis. Osteoarthritis in my spine, and my blood pressure had been being real low. Every time I went to CVS, it would be really, really low, and I kept feeling like really, really dizzy, feeling like I was going to fall out. And I had went and got a shot at the emergency room for my spine to stop hurting, but it didn't help. Um, I had went, I think to Georgia Baptist, but it had been, I don't know, I had went like I can't remember when I had went for it, but I know I ended up having to go to the emergency room again. So I went to Grady. And when I went to Grady, I had to wait 15 hours before I was even seen by a doctor. But when I first got there to, to be registered in and talk to the nurses and the registration people and stuff, and the nurses that take your, or whatever you call them, they take your blood pressure and stuff like that. They said it wasn't showing that my blood pressure was low or whatever. But I had to wait 15 hours. Okay, so when I did finally see the doctor, um, um, they sent me back home. They just wrote a prescription for naproxen, and that's what I had been taking since I was a little girl. And it doesn't help, I guess, because I had been on it for so long. So I still went and got the prescription or whatever. Um, and then when I got and then I asked them. I had to like beg them at Grady to to give me a to give me an appointment to go to the lupus clinic because I had been trying to get into the lupus clinic for so long. Because when I turned 18 years old, my real dad, he had took me off of his insurance, and everybody kept telling him not to do that because I wasn't going to be able to get any more insurance because of me being diagnosed with lupus SLE at the age of 8 or 9 years old. But he's never cared, anyhow. People had to make him keep me on the insurance, even as a little child. Neither one of my parents have actually ever cared. Um, anyhow, when I got home from the emergency room from Grady, because we had been there for 15 hours, so it was like the next day we got home and I had my son with me. And I can't think it, I know he's 28 now, so that was like 13 years ago. And it was like December. It was I think it was like I think I because they I think it was like December, like because I know it was after Christmas because I had went over to one of my aunt's house, and I had to ask her to make sure she saved a certain seat for me so I would be comfortable because my back was hurting so bad. And anyhow, when I got home, I was staying in a townhouse at the time. And when I got home, I went up the steps and I tripped going up the steps, but I didn't fall. Then probably like a couple of hours later, I started stuttering a little bit. And my little sister was like, "Why are you stuttering like that? You don't stutter like that." I was like, "Yeah, that's weird, whatever." But I didn't think nothing about it. And then like, I think like a day later or two, maybe 2 days later, I went to the lupus support group meeting at Grady because I had talked to a lady down there about going to the support group meeting. But I had been talking to her on the phone and stuff, so I finally was going like for the first time to the meeting. And when I got there, she was like, "Why you stuttering like that?" I said, "I don't know. I just haven't been feeling good." And I told her how long I had to wait. And so the floor that I was on for the support group meeting, the doctor was there that I had to, that I was going to be seeing in 6 months, because they gave me an appointment for 6 months later. So he said, go back downstairs to the emergency room, and he will come or whatever, or go to Crawford Long Hospital, because that's one of the hospitals that he was up under. And so when I got there, they saw that I was stuttering and that my blood pressure was too low. And so they was like, we're gonna keep you to run tests because that's not normal, whatever. So when I woke up the next morning, I was really, really bad slurred speech, so where they couldn't even understand me. And when I tried to stand up, I couldn't walk. It was like I was like, I can't even really describe it. It's just like, it was like really, really horrible. I couldn't walk right, you know. And so they had to push me around like in a wheelchair and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna go on from that. But anyhow, at 8 or 9 years old, I was diagnosed with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. Then in my 20s, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Um, and then when in 2012, I was diagnosed with occipital neuralgia, dysarthritis, which is a speech disorder, neuropathy, bursitis, and probably like a year ago, I was diagnosed with sciatica nerve pain. Anyhow, it would be sometimes, well, in 2019, I had another setback, but I never started walking back like how I do now. I never ever started walking back. I had always been not able to walk right. I could get out of my wheelchair and hop just a tiny bit to get around my house. And I had braces that I could put. I would have to take the sole of my shoe out in the inside and put the braces down in there, and then it would make me be able to walk right. But I could only use them for like a couple minutes. But if you saw me with that, I still couldn't walk right with it. So every time I went out, I had to be in my wheelchair. And I never gave up though, even knowing that I had to be in my wheelchair. I never got really sad or upset or anything like that. But I would have my days that I did feel bad because I wanted to be able to, work or do things, and I couldn't do certain things that I couldn't do anymore that I love doing. So in 2019, I ended up to where I was having like the real bad headaches again, and the left side of my face was hurting like really, really bad, and I was in excruciating pain. But I drove myself to the hospital, which I don't know how I could still drive, even though I couldn't walk, but I could always drive. And I used to shake really, really, really bad, but I wouldn't shake when I drive. I shake really bad, and I was really bad slurred speech. But in 2019, my speech was a lot better. You could understand me. But by the time I drove myself to the hospital, because I told my son I was in so much pain, I see how people kill themselves, but I would never do that. But by the time I drove myself to the hospital, and it's not far from where we live at, when I got to the hospital, I couldn't even write my name to sign myself, so they can be able to see me. So my son had to sign my name for me. And then when I woke up again, I couldn't, everything was like going backwards. So I had to learn how to walk all over again. And I still never been able to walk like I'm walking now. Like I said, I would like hop just a tiny bit. I would do like, that's how I was hopping in the house, like to get to certain places. I couldn't get, really do anything. I have videos on my shorts. If you look at the shorts, you can see how in 2019 I was doing my therapy at home, and it shows how I was walking, trying to walk or whatever, but it never really got all the way back right ever until now. Monday, I just woke up and I could walk. And it couldn't have been nobody but God. I know it wasn't nobody but God. I got out my therapy and stuff in 2019, but I always, since 2012, I've been like crawling on the floor to clean my own apartment and stuff like that. And I always did things for myself, because I never gave up on myself. And I didn't feel down on myself because I was like that. I was just happy to still be alive. But on Sunday, me and my son had went up to the CVS not too far from where we live at. And on the way back home, I was telling my son, I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the next time we come up here, and I was on my scooter wheelchair, I said I wouldn't be surprised if I can walk. And he was like, no, I don't think so, Mom. And I said, no, Trey, God can do anything. And I said, I just wouldn't be surprised if I do. And then so when I woke up Monday morning, I got out of bed, I would normally like hop because right here where my hand, well, I can't even, this is my bathroom door. This is a cross I have on the wall. This is my bedroom door. I mean my closet door, and this is my bedroom door. This is how little my room is. It's like being in a tiny house. It's so little, but I love tiny houses anyhow. So anyhow, when I woke up, I didn't even realize that I hadn't hopped. Until I sat down on the commode to use it, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't hop, to get in here, because it's just like a couple of hops to get in my bathroom from my room. See, if I open the door, this is my room, this is my bathroom, and I can go right in, and I'm sitting right here at my bathroom. And my bed be like, well, I don't have a bed, so it was like right here, real close to the bathroom, and I would get off the little thing that I do sleep on. So anyhow, something was like, when I got out the commode, get up and walk. And so when I got up, I went into the living room, but I hopped like into the living room. And when I got in the living room, I started like walking, and I was walking really, really fast, like I have been doing on the videos that I showed. And I was like, oh, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Do it, Jesus. Do it, Jesus. Oh, yes, thank you, Jesus. And I was like waving my hands in the air saying, Lord, thank you so much. Thank you, Jesus. Do it, Jesus. And I was finna call my son immediately, but I was like, no, I need to make sure this is real. And it was gonna last. And then finally, I called him because he wasn't at home. So he was like 5 or 10 minutes away. And he came, I called and I was like, Trey, I can walk. And he was like, what? You can walk? And so he was with his brother, and he told his brother, you got to take me home. I can't remember exactly what he said when he got here, but I was just so excited. I wasn't surprised because God has done many miracles for me, so it wasn't surprising to me. But that's basically the story, and I don't know what everybody's expecting. Because they like, what happened? Like, did you go to the doctor? But I haven't been able to go to the doctor in like some years because my real dad and a lady that used to live with me in some of the family houses that I stayed in or whatever, that's supposed to be my mom. She would do things, and my real dad would do things to where I couldn't go to the doctor. So I hadn't been to the doctor in years, but it wasn't helping in the house, so it really didn't matter to me. That's like really basically it. So basically, especially with me not being to the doctor in years, I know it was nothing but God. But even if I had been going to the doctor and I ended up walking like this, I still would have known it wasn't nobody but God, because He has always blessed me. Like I told you all before, I have died like 3 times. I died as a child, and then I died twice as an adult. It's been so many instances that I went through, so I just don't see how nobody can say it's not a God. But I just wanted to come on and give this story about what happened. So I've been going up and down the steps. I did trying to run a tiny bit. I just been walking and walking and walking, and sitting down when I need to. Of course, I still hurt because I have other things going on, but I'm just thankful that I can walk. And I just want everybody to know, don't ever give up, and that God still works miracles for anybody that believes that He doesn't. He still works miracles. And all you have to do is believe. All you need is the faith the size of a mustard seed. And do you know how little a mustard seed is? Just imagine. So all you need is a little bit of faith. Just believe in God, because God is the only one that is waking us up and doing everything for us. And I thank God so much for entrusting me and loving me enough to give me this miracle because he knew that I wouldn't be afraid to speak on it. And a lot of people where I've stayed, they have changed a lot. They used to be mean to me when I was in my wheelchair, but since they've seen me walking, they can't even believe it because I've been here for 8 years, and people have like did a whole 180-degree turnaround. They're not even being mean to me no more. But I still don't want to stay here. So when something comes through, I will be moving. But I thank you all so much. And I just wanted to tell my story. And I'll be telling some more story times of different things. But I thank you all so much for listening. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe if God leads you to. And as you can see, I'm talking too, and I couldn't talk. You couldn't even understand what I was saying in 2012. So God has done many miracles for me. I can sing and I can talk. Y'all hear me singing on my video. But God bless you all and have a very wonderful evening. Bye-bye.